In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create a data entry portfolio as a beginner to virtual assistant. And in this video, I'm going to show you everything as a complete beginner, from writing your own title and description to creating work samples, adding testimonials, designing the entire portfolio, so that by the end of this video, if you follow it along, you are going to have a very good and attractive portfolio, data entry portfolio as a complete beginner to virtual assistant, which is going to increase your chances of getting hired faster. And at the end of this video, this is a portfolio that we are going to have. You see, it will have all the sections that are needed to have an effective portfolio. And don't worry about all the work samples. Everything I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. And without any delay, we are going to start with the first step. The first step is creating some work samples. Even before we get to designing the portfolio and everything, we are going to start with creating work samples, because they are one of the key foundations of creating an attractive portfolio. And in order to create work samples, I'm going to use ChatGPT, Canva, and Google Sheet to create my first work sample. So I'm going to share my screen and we can get started. Okay, I'm going to start by creating a product inventory, like an e-commerce website inventory. A good example is I previously worked for someone who have an e-commerce business, and every day I check the inventory and update the quantity of each product, and I update any product that is out of stock. And I do this in a spreadsheet, so that at first look, when they look at the spreadsheet, they see the product that are out of stock, they see the product that are low in stock, and they see the products that are okay, doesn't need any change. And I'm going to get the sample data that I'm going to use in ChatGPT. All you need to do is you go to chatgpt.com and you are going to land on this page. If you don't have an account, obviously you are going to have to create an account in ChatGPT. And I'm going to write a prompt that is going to help me get some sample data to work with in ChatGPT. And this is the prompt I'm going to use. Okay, this is the prompt I am using. Can you provide me with sample Google Sheet data to practice my Excel skills with? I want the data to be for an e-commerce business with columns for product name, product available quantity, product sold in a day, and a column for whether the product is out of stock or low in stock or good number of quantity. So let's see the data that ChatGPT is going to provide. So you see, this data is good enough to start working with. We have the number of the name of the product, the available quantity, the number of products sold today, and the status of the product. So yeah, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me a direct link to download this data. Okay, great. So I can just click this link to download the data. So let's see how it looks. Okay, amazing. Now I have the data right here. I can go to my files and I can find it in my download folder. So you see, this is it right here. Let's open it and see how it looks. So you see, this is the data right here that we can start practicing with and make it more attractive, more readable, and more easier to understand. But I'm not going to, I can easily go ahead and start working with it here in Excel, but instead I'm going to work with it in Google Sheet, because I believe Google Sheet is more accessible to everyone, and I just like Google Sheet better, so I'm going to use this data in Google Sheet. So I'm just going to go to another tab and go to Google docs.google.com/spreadsheet. This is the link, docs.google.com/spreadsheets. Okay, I can just click this plus icon to create a blank spreadsheet. Okay, I can start working with this file by renaming the file or choose a template from here, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to import the data I have. I go to File and I am going to go to just Open. And I am going to go to Upload and I'm going to click Browse. I then come to my download folder and this is a file right here, so I can click and click Open. Okay, great. Now you see we have the data in Google Sheet, and we can go ahead and start working with it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the size of the columns so that everything is visible. Like you see, the names of the product is not visible, so I can just come to the top, and right here I can double click right here where my mouse is between A and B. In the middle, when I double click on it, you see the column is now big enough to fit all the words. And alternatively, I can just double click and drag to increase the size, or I can highlight all of them. If I highlight all the columns by holding Shift and click on it, I can double click right here, and all of them are going to be big enough to fit, so I won't have to do it one after another. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some color to the header right here. Oh, the name of the file doesn't look good, so I'm going to change the name of the file. I can double click here. I just name it e-commerce data tracking, and I can highlight the header to make some changes to it. And I can start by increasing the size of the header text into 13. Yeah, 13 looks good. And now I have to increase the sizes of the column, so I can choose this one, come to the D, hold Shift and click on it to highlight everything, and I can double click here again. So the next thing I am going to do is I am going to highlight them all and change the background color. I can do that by coming to here, fill color. I choose on, click on it, and I can choose this green, and I will change the color of the text to white. So now we have a little more visually good looking data. The next thing I want to do is this column, I want it to be not this big because available quantity is too long and we only have numbers here. So instead of available quantity, I'm going to change it to AQ, which means available quantity. Sold today, I'm going to maybe change it, or maybe I can leave it. It's not that big, so I can reduce the size of this, and I can highlight these two, and I can make them center. Okay, I can increase the size of this a little bit. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this into a drop down so that it is just easier to, it's just going to be more attractive. And I'm going to choose one, and I'm going to come to insert, and I am going to come down and choose drop down. So the first option is low in stock from right here, and I can change the status of low in stock, the color I mean, from right here. I can choose it, and I can maybe change it to this color when it is low in stock, and I'm going to add another item which is going to be out of stock. I am going to change it to red, and we have good quantity, and I can change the color of good quantity to this blue or green. Yeah, green. Okay, I think these are the only three options we have. I click on done. The next thing I want to do is I want to apply this to all of these items, but I'm not going to do it all one by one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click. You see, when I hover over this corner, it's turned into this cross, so I can double click and drag it down. So you see we have everything is into this drop down. So the next thing we are going to do is check this product. We have 0 available quantity, so it is out of stock. We can just change it to out of stock, and this one is also out of stock, so we are going to change it to out of stock. This one is low in stock, but this one 20 we have available quantity, so I'm going to change it. Let's say anything above 10 is good quantity, anything below 10 is low in stock. So this means these are low in stock, this one is good quantity, this one low in stock, this one is also good quantity. So this is good. The next thing we might want to do, I can close this, The next thing we might want to do is increase the number of the data. Right now we only have 11 rows. So I can just click here, double click and drag it to highlight everything. I click Ctrl C to copy, and then I will come to right here. I can click Ctrl B to paste everything. So now you see we have a lot more data to work with. The next thing we might want to do is we might want to add some few more columns right here just to make it a little bit bigger. I can increase the size of this a little bit. We can add another column for product link, and we can just write a link, and we can add another column for maybe not. And we don't have to style it individually. What we can do is we can click here and click this icon to copy the style, and we can click on these two and they have the same style with the rest of the header items. I can increase the size a little bit. I can increase the size of not to maybe this big, and here is going to be links to each individual product. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some, let me add some random link. I will copy this link and I will paste it here. Let's assume this is the link of this product. When you click on it, you are going to go to this product, and I'm just going to do it for all of them. So I just double click on this so that all of them have the same link. But you see we have one problem. The link went on forever to all the other columns, and we can prevent that by selecting this column, and we can come right here to text writing. We click on it and we choose this cliff. When we do this, you see the links is confined to this section. And if we want to add some comment, some note, we can add some comments like the product is not available to restock. And yeah, if we have any comment, we can just add it here. Okay, so this is just an example. I hope if you follow along this tutorial, this short tutorial, you are going to have a good understanding of how Excel works. You can make this into a table if you want, and you see when we click on it, we have an option to turn it into a table. And if we do it, it is probably going to look a little bit better, but I don't want to turn it into a table. It depends on what you are working with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this as the sample right now. Probably if you are working for a client, you are going to have a lot more columns to work with. It will just depend on the work that you are doing. But if you follow along, you have some basic understanding of how this works. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it more attractive for a work sample, and I'm going to do it in Canva. First I'm going to take a screenshot of this file. And if you are using, depending on the browser you are using, I'm using Firefox right now. I can click Ctrl Shift and S, and I can highlight and choose the area that I want to take the screenshot. Okay, I can click download. Now I have the file right here. So the next thing I will do is I'm going to come to Canva and I'm going to create a new design. I am just going to choose custom size, and I'm going to do 1920 by 1080. It is in pixels, so I'm just going to click create new design. Okay, I'm going to start by renaming the file. So I'm going to come up here and say it data entry work sample. Okay, I'm going to come to uploads to upload the file that I have. This is a screenshot, so I'm going to upload it. and I'm going to click to add it on the page. Okay, just to make it more attractive, I am going to add a background. And let's come to the photos section, and I'm going to search for maybe e-commerce. Okay, I'm going to just choose this first one, and I'm going to make it the background, and I'm going to click on it again. I'm going to come to edit, and I am going to add a blur right here, and I'm going to choose whole image. Intensity, I'm going to make it probably 100 or something like 80. Yep. Okay. Then I'm going to choose my picture. I'm going to come to corner radius. I'm going to add maybe something like 20. Yeah, 20 will do. This is going to be our first work sample, and my goal is we are going to have 3 work samples to start with, so I can add another page, and I'm not going to go through this exact process again. Instead, what I'm going to do is let's take another example. If, for example, someone hired you to manage some projects that involve people, maybe people are submitting some feedback, or people are submitting a Google form, and when they submit the Google form, their data is, you can export their data in a Google Sheet and work with it to make it attractive. I've shown an example of this in my data entry work sample tutorial. So I'm not going to go through this exact process since you know how to do it. But let's say we have a Google form. This is an example of a Google form that I previously used. And if you want to know how to create a Google form, I also have another tutorial, a full tutorial of how to create a Google form. You can go to the description of this video and watch it. But what I'm going to do is, let me preview this. Let's say a client hired me and they have a business where people are booking a call with them. And when someone book a call, they are going to fill out a Google form. And when they submit, you can export their data in a Google Sheet, all the people who submit the form, and you add it, you sort it into a Google Sheet and make it easier for the person to read, understand, and do whatever they want to do with it. So if that is the case, I'm going to take a screenshot of this Google form. You can go ahead and create a Google form by following the tutorial that I have. So I'm going to do this. And when you export the data, you sort it, you make it easier to understand and everything, you will have a separate data, not the same one. And we can come to our Canva file, and I'm going to upload this new file. You come to upload file, and click on upload this one again. Instead of creating from scratch, I am just going to duplicate this tab. This page, I mean, when you click on this icon, you are going to duplicate the page. So you see we have the same page into the same content in 2 pages. I'm just going to delete this empty one. But what I'm going to do is, if you go ahead and create a new Google Sheet, you are going to have a different file. So you can import it and add it here. But since I didn't have another one, I'm just going to use this one again. And I'm going to add this file again for the Google form, and I'm going to add some corner radius of 20. I'm going to select the first image and the second image and group them together, and I can center them. Okay, now we have our second work sample completed, but our goal is to have 3 work samples. So the third work sample is going to be related to project management, and I'm going to use Trello. And what we are going to do is, it's important to learn Trello, but even if you don't know how to use Trello, I'm just going to set up a quick account right now, just create some test board, and I'm going to use it as my work sample. So to start, I'm going to go to Trello.com. So when you come to Trello, if you already have an account, you can log in. If you don't have an account, you need to create an account. But since let me just create a new account. I'm just going to choose Google. Okay, since I don't have an account with that Gmail account, I'm going to just click on create account. Accept cookies. And what bring you today? Organize ideas, or I can just simply skip. Welcome to Trello, meet your inbox. Can I skip this? Yeah, I can just exit out. So you see, this is the homepage after you log in. And these are all templates that you can choose and start working with. So I can just choose one. Let me see. Let me just choose this template. Okay, I can create board from the template so that it becomes mine. Okay, great. Now I have this Trello board in my Trello account. So learn how to use Trello is very important if you want to add project management to your toolkit. But for now, I'm just going to take the screenshot of this project management board and add it as part of my portfolio. Okay, I can click Ctrl+Shift+S to copy, and it depends on the type of browser you are working with, but since I am working with Firefox, yeah, I can just copy from here and click on download. Okay, I can come back to Canva and I can duplicate this page and I can upload the file that I have. And I will click and add it to the page. And I will delete the other picture that is at the back by clicking delete. Then I choose this one. I drag to make it big enough. Or maybe I will remove this fat so that I only have the board. Okay. Now I'm going to add the border corner 20. Okay, great. Now I have my 3 work samples. The next thing I will do is I am just going to download them. Make sure you download as PNG. And pages, I just select page 1 to 3, which is all pages, and I click download. And that is it. Now I have my 3 work samples. It's very, very important to have work samples. So 3 is enough to get started, but you can have more. You can have a lot more. And the data file that I have is just sample 1. You can spend more time into making it better and making it more attractive. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start creating the actual portfolio with the work samples that I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to Canva homepage. I can delete these other pages. Okay, when we are back at the homepage of Canva, we are going to come to the search bar right here and search for website. And we can choose Canva template. And we click enter. Okay, so these are all the template, the Canva template that you can use. Some are free, some are in the Pro account. Anyone that have this Pro crown, it means you have to have Canva Pro in order to use it. So the next thing we can do is just choose a template and start working with. I am just going to choose this one and click on it. And this is a little preview of how it looks. And I already like it, so I'm just going to click on customize this template. Okay, great. Now it's opening a new tab. The first thing I'm going to do is change the name of the template right here. I can just highlight everything and change it to maybe something like Sadiq Data Entry Portfolio or Data Entry Website. Okay, great. So we are going to start making changes. The first thing I will change is the logo. If you have a logo, go ahead and add your logo, but if you are a beginner, I'm guessing you don't have one, so you can just delete it, or maybe say something like this will work. You can remove this logo, this little icon, or you can replace it with something like a computer. Let me just find a computer icon from element and do a search for computer, and I'm just going to use this one. Just make it simple and change the color from here to make it white. Click on white, and I can drag this corner to make it small. Drag it up. I will start by deleting this little icon by clicking delete. Then I will drag this one up, resize it a little more, and make it in the right place. Okay, this works. The next thing is changing this picture, and obviously I'm going to use my own picture. So we come to upload and find my picture from my uploaded files. Okay, here I am. So I just choose this picture, and I can just drag it and place it on top of this picture. Let's see if it is a frame. I don't think it is a frame, so I'm going to have to just replace it. So I just drag and place it on top of this picture, resize it a little bit, something like this maybe. Yep, this will work. So I just right click and click on layer, and I will send it back. So I will click on this image and delete it. And next I'm going to add some rounding, some corners, similar to the one I removed. Yep, 75 looks good. I can double click on my picture and make it bigger, something like this. Yeah, but it will be better if you add a smiling picture, a picture where you are smiling, showing your nice smiling face. And the next thing, I will change the text right here, but I'm going to use ChatGPT to help me write a better one. Can you generate a good short title to use as a headline? Here are some alternatives or some options. Reliable data entry virtual assistant, detail-oriented virtual assistant, helping you stay organized, virtual assistant specializing in data entry. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to choose this one for the sake of simplicity. Okay, the next thing I might want to do is add my name below this headline. So what I will do is I'm just going to copy this by clicking Ctrl C and Ctrl B. So now we have two of it. I'm going to drag it down here. I will increase the size, and I'm going to double click and highlight everything, and I will write my name. And yeah, it is too small, so I'm going to increase the size. Just make sure it is in the right alignment with this. So from top here, I'm going to click on here to increase the size, and I'm going to make it bold and drag it down a little bit. And it might look better if I add some line right here, like a border. So I'm just going to come to the element, and I will search for just line. Okay, I am going to use this one. I will drag it and place it right here. Okay, all good. Yep, we are going to go to the next page. Yeah, we are going to change this something like data entry professional. Obviously, you can use ChatGPT to help you write better content that is going to attract potential client, and we are going to write a little more information, background information. Let me do something like, let me just write something from my mind, and I can make it better with ChatGPT. I am an expert in data entry with let's say with decent or with high level of experience in Microsoft Excel, Google Sheet, and all the relevant tools that will help me make your business more efficient. Okay, this is some raw content. What I will do is I'm going to highlight and copy everything, and I'm going to come to ChatGPT again, and I'm going to say, is this description good? ChatGPT is going to make it better for me, and I can use what ChatGPT gave me. You can read it, make sure it is good, or make some adjustment, but just make sure there are no grammatical error. So I'm going to highlight and paste it right here. And what I will do next is to replace this with something relevant to Excel. And I can come to the photos section and search for Excel. And I can use any of this, and maybe I'm just going to use this one. I can drag and place it. It should be a frame, but here this template is not they are not using frame, so I'm going to have to resize it manually. And send it back. And I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to add some round 20. Yeah, this should work, but it doesn't really look as good. Maybe if I add a white one, it is going to be better. So let me just search for Excel in Google to try to find a better image. Go to images. Yeah, I actually like this one. So let's see if we can use it. Yep, I can just download it. And I will go back to upload files, and I'm going to upload it right here. And I can delete this one that I have on the page. And I replace it with this nicer one. Okay, I will add the round 20. Okay, this looks good. Features, we are going to change it to, let's see, what other pages do we have? Okay. Yeah, features, I am going to just change it to tools. And I'm going to change this user-friendly to Excel. And we'll change this to Google Sheet. And we'll change this to Microsoft Tools. Microsoft Office Tools, to make it in general. And we can change this short description also, but the more important thing is to change these little icons. Let's see if I can find Excel icon here under element. Yep, I can use this one. Okay, I can drag it and just adjust it to make it right size. and I will send it back, and I can delete the icon on top. Google Sheet is about the same, so I'm just going to look at a different one. Maybe I will use yeah, don't overthink it, so I'm just going to use this one. And I will send it back. And Microsoft. Let's see what I can have for Microsoft. Yeah, I'm just going to use this one. Okay, this section is done. And reviews is very important. So what we are going to do is, what I always teach is, if you don't have client reviews as a beginner, get reviews from people you work with. They can give you a character testimonial. If they know you are honest, you are nice to work with, you are just a team player, anything that you can get from people you work with, even if you didn't work for them. And if you don't have anyone that you ever work with, just find someone who know you to ask them to just give you a character testimonial, whether you are honest, whether you are proactive, just a character testimonial, and you can add it right here. It's very important. And this is the best part. This is where we are going to add our work samples, and I'm going to upload them right here. Go to upload image. Oops, I have to extract them, so just give me a minute. So these are the work samples that I recently created. I'm just going to highlight them all and drag and drop them here to upload them all. And when they finish uploading, I'm going to start by removing this mock-up. So I can click delete and remove it. And I'm going to add the first image. I will drag and put it in the right position. Yep, and then I'm going to add a corner of 20 is what we add for everything, so 20. And I'm going to write the name of the project, and this is e-commerce product tracking, inventory tracking, or inventory management. I can just increase the size a little bit. And right here, we can add a description of what we do right here. A short description of what happened, all the information that is included in this spreadsheet. But yeah, you can go ahead and do this. Just add some description. But the next thing I will do is I'm going to duplicate this page right here, so that we can have other work samples. And when I select the page right here, I can click this icon to duplicate it. And just to make it look better, I'm going to change their positions. And it is going to be like this. Yep, and I'm going to add my second work sample, which is going to be this one. A corner of 20. And this is feedback management or client onboarding, something like this. And same thing, you can go ahead and add a description of what this project is, and we can duplicate it again. or I can simply duplicate this first one. And I will select it and send it down by clicking this arrow. So now we have 3 projects, and I can replace this image. I delete it, I upload this one. I add a corner round of 20 pixels. And I change the name of the project to project management, and I can add a description of what exactly is happening here. And if you have more sample work, you can go ahead and add them right here. And this is the contact page, which is very important. And the one thing I'm going to do is add a picture right here. For the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to copy this picture by clicking Ctrl+C. I come down to the last page, select it, Ctrl+B, and paste it. I'm going to drag and position it right here. And maybe make it smaller. And I am going to select this, drag, and move it here. And here you can add all the information that you want people to use to contact you. Email, and you can add your social media handle right here if you want. So the one more page we can add is this one. If you want to add more tools that you have that you are working with, you can duplicate this page and add more tools. If you want to add more reviews, you can duplicate this page and add more reviews. If you want to add more work samples, you do it right here. You can just move this. I can just move the name to the top like this, and I can add some description. To make it on brand, I can copy this one, and I can drag it like this and take it up a little more. And right here, you can add your description. We can just center everything by selecting everything. Yep, so you can add your description here. So when clients land on this page, they know your name, they have the title, your main focus title, and they have your short description. They can see you are a data entry professional, and a short, more interesting description about your experience with data entry, and just a relevant image right here. And the tools that you use, you add them right here, your reviews, and you have your work samples project, and you have the way for people to contact you. The key thing is keep improving and keep making it better. But even if we keep it like this, it is going to be enough for what we want. So the next thing you can do is just publish your website. We can do that by clicking publish. We make sure the size on mobile device is selected, and we can add a link. Anything we add is going to end with .mycanva.site. Let me try Sadiq Omar and see if it is not taken already. Okay, we click on publish settings. You can add a description. A title is already, I set it up, so we can click on advanced. Password protected is disabled so that anyone can see. Search engines can find this website. Yes. Link preview is disabled. And yeah, everything looks in order, so we can just click on publish. Okay, great. The website is live. What we are going to do now is preview it. I'm just going to copy the link right here, and I'm going to go into an incognito mode, and I will paste the link and take a look at how it looks. Okay, great. This is how our website is looking to visitors. When you share this link with anyone, they are going to land on this page. How cool is that? And yeah, make sure you use a smiling face, and when we scroll, we can see everything that we have added. And yeah, it all looks good to me. Just remember, the key thing is make sure to keep improving it and keep doing things better. Keep improving your skills and keep creating better work samples. And you can share this link with anyone. And when you finish creating your portfolio, I am sure the next question you have is, how exactly can you find a client right now? And that is why you can watch this next video to learn all the ways that virtual assistant find client and how you can get started looking for client as a beginner to data entry virtual assistants. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next one.